Hello guys. So today I was watching movie with my sister and it kind of made me understand that how differently reader and a non-reader perceives the movie. Like when a reader is watching movies, she focuses more on how it is different from like the book that it is adapted from. So while thinking about it, I remembered a very distinct example of this situation, which was 2022's movie Persuasion that came on Netflix, and it was adaptation of the book with same name by Jane Austen. So there were a lot of people who were criticizing the movie, and there was a lot of reason for it. But today I think I'm going to focus more on why people loved Anne Elliot so much that it angered them when they changed few of her main characteristics, like the kind that made her. But in the movie they are totally different from actually what Anne Elliot was. So today I'm going to focus on that. For starters, for those who haven't read Anne Elliot Persuasion, I will explain the book. The book starts with the family of three sisters. Uh, Obviously, the Anne Elliot, she is the middle child. Then there is Mary Elliot, who is the youngest, and Elizabeth Elliot, who is the oldest. Now there are a lot of more character in the book that are important, but the story focuses on Anne Elliot and her love interest, Captain Wentworth. So the story is basically of this girl who is very shy and introvert. That her family forces her to say no to Wentworth when he didn't have any class according to family, and he didn't have any money. But the things have turned where the family has lost all its wealth, and Captain Wentworth is now a captain, and he's also very rich. So the tables have turned. The characters have will now have to go through this whole journey of accepting their flaws, and on the both side where the Wentworth has gone very cold towards her, and obviously her coming to in terms with her, standing up for herself and going, no, I really like her. And it's the story of her progress as a whole that makes this book really interesting to read. Her going from this ugly, not charming middle child who is forgotten, to her whole thing where she's madly in love with Captain Wentworth and she has to tell him and everything. So as the book progresses, it's mostly focused on not even the Wentworth. It focuses on the character of Anne Elliot. That's why when the movie Persuasion came out, many people were offended because her characteristics were changed, which was the focus of the book, her character development. Firstly, the thing I noticed after watching the movie Persuasion was that she was a lot more snarky. I mean, it would have been a great character for someone like Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice, but Anne Elliot from Persuasion was very sensitive and kind girl. Like she was kind to the point where she would get hurt herself but would not hurt others, and that's what made her a character that needed a character development. That was her whole arc of character development. Like sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and choose what is right for yourself, even though a lot of people will tell you that maybe it's you are not worth it, you are not good enough. And I think that's what connected most people to her, because she was this person who was always listening to her family, her parents, her, like everyone around her. And the thing that made her was lost in all this. So when this character development happens, she goes from the person that she was, where she would listen to everyone, to this person who she has now become, who is not, I would not say she was confident, she wasn't very confident, but she knew what she wanted to do. She knew how to stand for it without going against her, like she doesn't even go against her family this time. She just stands up for herself and be like, listen, you all are broke, okay? He is the only rich person now, and forget about your class. I like this dude and I'm going to marry him. And her family like agrees to it. Like, there's obviously she doesn't go like that, but there is the difference between the movie Anne Elliot and the book Anne Elliot, where she is not snarky. She's actually overly people pleasing at the start, because she was forgotten since like childhood, and her only like she didn't have that influence from her mother because she was dead. And so she was like, the another thing was that was very different from the book and to movie, and was that the scene in the dining table. Now if you haven't watched the movie, there is this scene where she says that her sister's husband was supposed to be wedded to her, and that is something I believe that Anne Elliot from book would never do, because one thing Anne Elliot had that none of her sisters had was her class. And not the, oh, she was upper class, no, she was classy. So she was the kind of sister who was bringing logic into all this, and she was the one who is being classy about things that are happening near her. So I believe that's what people liked about Anne from book more than the movie, because she wasn't going around talking bad about people. She was classy about everything that was happening in life, where it was whether it was when Captain Wentworth was supposed to marry someone else, and things weren't going her way, she would never be not classy about it. Like, she wouldn't talk badly about her sister in front of uh, her family, her in-laws. And I think it was a really big part, is because we can understand that even though her sister was not the best sister in this world, she was still her sister. And I'm not saying that she should do everything for her sister even though she is rude, but we can somewhere understand that the influence her sister was getting was also not the same influence that Anne was getting. Like, it was creating a distinct character between her two sisters and her. So that was also very important thing. And I think last, like for me, one more reason that people did not like Persuasion the movie as much as they liked the book was because like the Anne in book was already perfect. Like, she was a flawed character, which I have said this before, most characters should be flawed, because people aren't perfect, and portraying people as perfect only ruins the character. So in book she was already perfect. She was insecure, which was something her character development depended on. She was she didn't take stand for herself, which was also part of her character development. So that is there. But she was also very smart. Like, she was calm, she was gentle, but she was smart, and she was smart. I remember this scene in the book where one of the girls fall from the stone wall, and everyone else is panicking there. Like, what should we do? Like, her head is hurt. We have to take, like, they are all panicking, and Anne is the only voice of reason in all of them. Like, we should take her to the hospital. We should we should lift her up and take her somewhere safe. We should lay her down and things like that. She was the only one out of all the group that was calm, collected, and she knew what she was doing. She wasn't like lost, and I believe that was one of her main character like plus point, Like it was one of her strengths, that even though she was shy or timid, she when it came to serious situation, she knew how to express her opinion. And I will go a step beyond and say she knew how to be a leader when push come to shove. So she knew what was supposed to be done in that situation. So I believe she had her own strength, and after that there are a lot of sequences where we can clearly see that her many of her different strengths, like decision making, and even her being firm about some things that she believed in, or her uh, like her ability to judge people's character. And you will as the book progresses from there, you will only see how positive she is about things that are like happening in her life that will affect her future. Like she knows how to deal with those things, and I believe that's why many people did not like that they change her main characteristics. Like what would you give a person who is already confident, who is already what can I say, knows how to take stand for herself, who knows how to not care about stuff? What character development can you even give that person? She was flawed. Only a flawed person can have the character development, and that's why people really loved her in the book. Another reason is because she was an introvert. Most of the books are when they are written about like a strong, powerful girl, they focus on her being an extrovert. Like she's going around, she's enjoying stuff, she's making new friends, she has the ability to speak to people very properly. And as an introvert myself, when I first read Pride and Prejudice, which was my first book from Jane Austen, so uh, I could not connect with Lizzie because that was not who I was. I wasn't a very snarky person. I wasn't someone who could just defy people's order. But when I read Persuasion or Mansfield Park for that matter, I felt like I am being seen. Like people, sometimes you just feel like, oh, this is so I'm not that bad of a person. Like that's what I was feeling, like I'm not that bad of a person just because I can't take stand. And I feel like somewhere in the line, because of this book, I was able to understand that even though you are an introvert, even though you are not very popular with your friends, even though you are not the popular kid, you don't have to be like you are not good at anything. There are a lot of things that people are bad at. There are a lot of things people are good at. You just have to figure out what is the one thing that you are good at, and I think you have to roll with it. You don't have to be an extrovert to be a main character. You can be an introvert, like me or like Anne from the Persuasion book, and you can still get your happy ending, or you can still be happy in your life, or you can still have power in your hand. You don't have to be a strong woman to have power in your hand. And I think that was one of the lessons from this book that was very important to be learned. And one the book itself was written by Jane Austen. Like it was her last completed book. uh, so I think she poured a lot of her heart into this book, and some of the lines in the book actually make you like it brings you to tears, and it will make you cry a little. But that's because the words used are very powerful, and they portray your emotions quite nicely. So changing that and making it into a new slang language was also some of the reason why people did not like the movie as much. I liked some part of it, I did not like some part of it. I am not someone who is going to sit here and judge a movie that required so much efforts to make, because I know how much effort it goes into making a movie. how much time and money and your mental health is required while filming things. So I won't go ahead and say like it was the worst movie I have ever watched. It was a good movie. I just felt like it is more of a inspired take rather than straight up adaptation. And the character that is in movie would have suited someone like Elizabeth Bennet way more than someone like Anne Elliot, who was very shy and kind and people pleaser. I know people love to throw that word around, but she was a people pleaser, and that's why I think the movie did not connect with many Persuasion fans, because the Persuasion fans are one type of category, and the Pride and Prejudice fan, like the extroverted men lead fans, are one category. I think people need to know that, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I hope you read the Persuasion if you ever felt like you are insecure about something, or about yourself, or you think you are not powerful enough, you think you are extrovert, so you are not good enough. Then I think you should definitely read this book. And I will soon talk about Manfield Park, which is another one of my favorite uh, book, which also has a very, like, she a non introvert extrovert girl who takes stand for herself and actually succeeds in it. I'm so sorry. So I hope you like this book review. uh, Again, no hit to the movie. If you jam with the movie, you jam with the movie, man. So also, it has one of the greatest letters I have seen. Uh, so one day I will make a short of just the letter, because it has one of the greatest letter written by Captain Wentworth. So I hope if you love romance, definitely read this book. The romance is very classic, very angsty. You will love it. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you liked the video.